Hope the people like us, man, we see it, we feel it, we breathe it. We make it too. We definitely know what time it is. You know what I mean? And through it all, we still standing. We still standing.
With being given the opportunity to speak to the students at UK, the subject matter was on adversity and diversity. And Lord knows I've dealt with a lot of it. I could only begin from the beginning, so I went back home. And of course, at that period of time, it was much needed. I began to think about my love for science and the person that interested me, Peter Coro from George Washington Middle School. And then I remember my days at T.C. Williams High School. Never did I imagine how big the school has gotten. They tore down the old building to build a new one. And then I began to think, with all that I had been dealing with from this past year, it was time for me to tear down the old me and rebuild a new, bigger, and better me.
Don't you know I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing after all this time, picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. I'm still standing.
So I had to prepare. I had sat down and had conversations with a couple of my brothers from church. Ones that I believe take the time to get to know me as an individual. And I fellowship with them, and we talk about issues of the day, and we share scripture. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that they have actually taken the time out to get to know me as an individual without any prejudice, nothing but pure love. Lexington is a pretty cool city. Of course, it's home to the University of Kentucky, and it's my opinion that they're on the cutting edge, doing a lot of things. Medical, law, arts. I'm looking forward to attending it for my master's degree. Just before the lecture began, I had to call my mother for prayer.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, I'm so glad to hear from you. I thought maybe my email to you was a little overwhelming.
No, in fact, I'm meeting the students in about a half hour.
Okay. You ready?
Yep. Amen. How has your experience on campus changed? I talked to the students about my background, growing up being raised by a single dad, which is rare in this country.
That'll change your outlook on culture.
I talked about the community and the town where I'm from, and other towns and cities that I've lived in. I spoke about my fight for fatherhood.
Today I'm wearing jeans and a sweater. Okay? If I was to come through that door with some dirty boots, old jeans, big coat, hood pulled down, and I came and sat right here next to you, and I forgot a pencil, how would you receive me asking you to borrow a pencil? Would you base that off of my appearance? Would you base it off of just, hey, here's a pencil? But in certain societies, that's not, the way that you look, people kind of stand off of that, right?
For me, I learned to be more high motivator, and I have values and I have goals.
During the nasty divorce, I was arrested and stripped of my rights. Those that I relied on and felt were close to me had abandoned me, passing judgment before anything was clear, before the real story was told. And it stripped me. It was overwhelming. And the backs were turned on me by people that I relied on most. I was reminded that there are still laws in our country that does not apply to all.
And the person that took this picture became not only
Jesus was jailed,
to the person that I would become.
and he overcame.
Picture, I've been friends with,
and there was no way that I was
it's
going
very
to sit
diverse area.
and
At one
continue
point, they were integrated
to let
schools.
my
Predominantly
dignity
black
and
schools
integrity
closed
be
down.
overtaken
So, all the
by
lower
others.
class, African American,
At that time,
people of color
I believe
being sent
that I was
to
being treated
the
better by the court system
predominantly white high school
than some of
and
who
had to learn to get
I
along.
worship with.
Mary exposed me to a lot of different
I
people
had been stripped
and a lot
of some of the things that I
basically
held
my
myself
world turned
responsible
inside.
for. I
I
refused
had
to let the
never
legacy
known anyone
that
outside
I was
my
trying
own race and culture
to
at
help
this young age. So she was the first
stay
person
alive
I actually got to know at such a young
be
age.
tarnished
And it was life changing.
by
It exposed me to
people
art, it exposed
who
me to
felt that
possibilities
they
to
had
build
power.
relationships with other cultures.
Before Pop died, he was going to address the issue,
In this country,
and I had
where,
asked him not to,
people of color had their
because
own
I
water
believed
fountain,
that there was some way
water fountain.
that I would be able to do it on my own,
If you were to talk to my mother,
even if I
my
could
mother
not do it
would not only tell you
in a
that
building.
the shade of her skin made
I could do it elsewhere.
On a social level, so many.
So I felt one of the ways that I could do it was to put it into this lecture. Some of the students that I had spoken with, like myself, go through a lot of condemnation by people who are only looking at them from the outside. And it was my obligation to speak to them, to encourage them, to show them compassion, to show them love, all of which we are not always given by others. Will Smith spoke out against the 2016 Oscars.
Of course, it's Christmas, but
He spoke about the regressive slide towards separatism and racial and religious disharmony. And I agree with him. I agree with him. I wanted to make sure my exchange with these students included talks about that.
I just added this picture.
And included the stereotypes,
The interesting thing about this,
in which no one seems to want to deal with in our country.
It's pretty much.
But we have to have the conversation. There's a history in our country, and of the history that is offered, there's a lot of history that isn't. So we have to search for it, read it, understand it. We have an obligation to care for one another. The gossip around my arrest hurt me so bad. And we often talk about fellowship, inviting folks to church. What do we do about keeping each other there? Where is that unification?
Please try to continue to find forgiveness for the bad experiences that you may go through. I've lived in 6 or 7 different places in this country. East Coast, West Coast, New England, New York area, Connecticut. So there's many experiences, different people. I got married and I had stepchildren that brought me out to Tennessee. There were differences between my ex-wife and I. Unfortunately, we parted ways. Of the 30,000 people that live in this town, there are only 2,000 African Americans that live in this particular town. Something came of that wasn't a great experience. The divorce itself got pretty nasty. During the divorce process, we had to deal with a judge in our town. This particular judge, her son and my stepson were friends. The judge, in this country, the judge should have thrown it out. The judge should have had nothing to do with it because we knew each other personally. It wasn't so much done by the book, your book of laws. It was done more on perspective. So that landed me in jail twice. What was the first thing that I did when I got out? So can you imagine walking in your place of worship and people reading in the paper, like the embarrassment and the heartache and everything that comes with that? I ended up being taken off drums and basically praising the way that I believe that I should praise. It put me in a position that made me very calloused, made me very hardened. So I ended up looking for other ways because what I've had to realize is no one defines my faith but me. And I ended up going back to school. So I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
I don't know if I've asked you this before. I almost feel like that it's quite possible that I did. Is there like a dress code here? Or is like the athletic, or is, huh?
There needs to be one.
Or is there like, you know,
A factory that makes the leggings?
yeah, I almost feel like that's like the dress code here.
Well, the girls don't leave much to the imagination. Let's just say that.
I mean, everybody's wearing leggings, and I don't understand.
It's the trend among the young, and
Or is it that their athletic department is so huge?
that's what it is, yeah.
It's like, is this like, I don't know.
I know. No. Okay, so.
She still doesn't.
No, because
No.